Welcome back, fellow travelers. I want to go over with you what to do in Rome if you only had 24 hours in that city. So, we're going to imagine that you won't be most likely coming back to this city. So, what would I do in a given day to go to Rome, see as much as I can, and get the highlights of the city in, and then be off on our way? So, this is great if you are going to be, doing maybe a tour of Europe, or you're doing an around the world trip and you want to have like a layover somewhere and you just happen to pick Rome. This will be a really good spot or a good video for you to really hammer out what your day will look like. I'm going to offer up what I've done and what my highlights are, and I'm also going to map out the time it takes to get to certain places. We are going to factor in that you're going to get about a 5-hour sleep. So if you're on a layover, you come in, let's say like 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll start your day off at around 7 or 8, and then go through the whole day and then leave that 5-hour window for, I guess, sleep. So let's get started. The first spot we're going to be hitting up in Rome is the Pantheon, and it's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Thankfully, this place is open most of the day, and the way it really works here is you don't need that much time. I would factor in about 20 minutes to go in, do a little tour, say you were there. So after that 20 minutes that you spend at the Pantheon, trust me, it's more than enough. You'll then go to San Nicola in Carcere, and I apologize if I just butchered that. The travel time to this place is about 13 minutes by foot. It's about a kilometer away. And spending 45 minutes here, I think, is a great idea. Hopefully, the time that you go to, the catacombs that you'd be visiting in this place will be nice and empty. It's one of the highlights of my trip. I cannot recommend this place enough, and not that many people actually go to this location. So do yourself a favor and take a stop off here. The benefit of this is that you're close to a few other destinations. If you are so inclined, if you spend less than 45 minutes here, you can actually walk to Circus Maximus. You can just say you were here, take a quick look, and then you head to the Colosseum. That'll take you about 10 minutes to get to the Colosseum, and I'd say an hour spent within the Colosseum walls is great. Whether you take a tour or not, it really is up to you. I do know that they offer packages, some of the tour operators, where you can go and visit the next spot on our list, which is Palatine Hill. And it's literally across the road from where the Colosseum is. It's not even a road that's really across, it's just across one of the paths that you'd go into the Colosseum. There are a few entrances to this area. It's beautiful. I've gotten a lot of great pictures from there. One of the things that is beneficial is if you go on a tour, you get to find out a lot more of the information about all the ruins that you'd be surveying and looking at. And that is one of the things that I missed out on. I did the tour for the Colosseum, but then I struck out and did my own thing. I kind of should have stayed with the tour, so make it so that you stay with the tour if you're going to be hopping around. They actually might end up being just half an hour, 40 minutes at the Colosseum, and then afterwards when you go to the Palatine Hill, I did it in about an hour and 20 minutes. With the tour, you'll probably do it at a bit different pace, but you'll get to see the highlights. Regardless, I've budgeted it an hour for you. So that brings us right to noon, which is lunchtime for most people. I don't suggest going to any of the restaurants near this area. It's, tourist central. So you'll be paying inflated prices, and furthermore, you'll also be probably waiting a bit of time for a seat. Better off grabbing something quickly at like a little shop when you're going to get further away from this area. If you're hungry, I would suggest probably ahead of time bring some nuts or something to snack on. You can get that at wherever you are. Like nuts are easily available. Snack on, if you're allergic to nuts, snack on some vegetables or something. Don't get a meal here. Just get something that you can snack on, because you're going to be making your way to the Forum. The Forum's about a 10-minute walk, but it's literally like right next to this. Just the tour that'll take you to go around. You'll get to the Forum, and from there, I budgeted about an hour and a half. It's going to vary depending on what you want to do at the Forum, what you want to see. There is like a museum indoors. You might want to have a look at that. It's honestly a really good place to just go and look at all the people that were there and admire the scale of the Roman Forum. Holy cow, is it incredible. From there, you're going to make your way to the Vatican. Now, you're going to be going to the Vatican for a while. You're going to be spending about 3 hours at Vatican City. You're going to be going through the Vatican Museum. You're going to be going through the Sistine Chapel, and then you're going to go to the Basilica of St. Peter's. And I recommend taking a tour because they're going to be able to bypass you in front of the lines that are going to be present there. I did it when I was in Rome. I highly recommend taking a tour here because they will fast track you through the museum, get you into the museum. One thing, they don't allow microphones. So if you are traveling with a microphone and you're going to be doing something like I'm doing, make sure that you don't bring a microphone with you that you can't store somewhere. So I had my bag. I just gave them my whole bag. They also didn't want me carrying my bag, so that's one thing to note. Through the museum, for whatever reason, they provide you with a check-in number, and then once you exit, you have to go and get it back, and you have to do kind of a whole workaround to go get your bag back, but it's not the end of the world if you have your bag with you. But before all this is where you might want to get a water bottle, get a little something to eat on the way. Stop wherever you think is fine. Just get yourself a little something. You will be eating supper after this visit here. And once you're done admiring all the beauty that this amazing place has to offer, you're going to head to Trastevere. This is the location at which I stayed at when I was in Rome. It's south of Vatican City and offers a lot of great restaurants, some gelato places, and some great walking paths. And it gives you a good taste of life in Rome. A lot of the locals hang out there. It's a place that has a high density of apartment buildings and houses. It's great. I absolutely would recommend it 100% to actually stay in this location if ever you were to visit Rome for a longer period of time. But for this, we're going to one restaurant in particular, and those that have watched my previous video know that I'm about to say Poppy Poppy. You're going to go to Poppy Poppy. It's a pizzeria. I had the calzone here twice. It is the best calzone you'll ever eat. It's open from 12 to midnight on most days. A lot of the crowd in Rome, I found, they go to supper later. So you might, depending on how your day's gone, you might be able to get there before the rush, or you might be there during the rush. So do budget a bit of time. We are leaving a bit of time open for the rest of whatever you want to see. From here, you probably, like I said, want the calzone. The pizza is also really good that I've seen. It's a nice, cozy environment. Stay here for like an hour, hour and a half. That leaves you plenty of time to be able to do what else you wanted to do in Rome, but make sure that you get back to where you're staying or to get back to the airport if your flight is leaving late that night. So there you have it. That's my trip for a day in Rome. I did leave you guys a bit of time to maybe, if it's high season and you're going, or maybe there's a long line at the Colosseum. I don't want to pack it too much so you have to cut a bunch of stuff, but if you ever had to cut something, it'd probably be at the beginning of the day. So if, let's say you're flying into Rome at 8 o'clock and you're leaving at like 1 o'clock in the morning, you can cut and add where you need to, but these are really the main spots that I would say you hit. One of the other things that I would suggest is a lot of the times in random locations in Rome, you'll have ruins that are preserved. Stop and look at the ruins. Don't, be so focused on getting to your next destination, which is why I left a bit of time for you at the end of the day so you can really maybe retrace your steps or spend a bit more time. If you notice that you're blazing through the trip, maybe you're already at the Vatican and it's only 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, then you'll have more time to say, okay, we can take it a bit easy because we got these things that we have left to do. Let's go here. I heard this is a really good spot. There's one of those spots that I really thought was cool, and it's near Trastevere. It's like a cat park. So it's where like all the stray cats of the city go, and it's built in like where the ruins are. So they preserved a bunch of the ruins in Rome in this square particularly. And I'll try to highlight it on a map that I'm going to pop up right now. And it's definitely an interesting situation because you have all these cats that are lounging about in the ruins, and I admired the beauty and the condition that the ruins were still in. I thought it gave a good contrast. You saw what was there previously, and then you look around to see huge buildings, paved roads, and I can only imagine what these people who lived here, thousands of years ago, would have thought if they could see their neighborhood now and what it became. That's one of the things that I really like about Rome, because they've done such a great job at preserving their buildings. And I say great job, but Rome was sacked, right? So there isn't a lot left of what was Rome, and then a lot of, after it got sacked, was rebuilt, and just the preservation, the efforts that are going into the preservation are something that I really admire. I commend Rome for really doing that. And of course, like, it's not like they're doing everybody a favor by doing it. They know that it's a draw for tourism, but it still doesn't detract from the fact of the effort and money that it takes to just keep these things standing. And who knows how long they're going to be left standing for. So that's why I really encourage you to go visit Rome. Go visit Rome while you have the chance. If it's for 24 hours, these are the main locations at which I suggest you head to. I hope you find it great. If you have any other suggestions of what people should do 24 hours in Rome, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear it. If you haven't been to Rome, let me know what you think of this. Are there any pitfalls you are worried about, or is there any questions you might have? Do ask away in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer. If you'd like to check out some of my other videos, you can do that right over there. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that right there. It really helps the channel, but it lets you know when we upload new content. I'd like to thank you for making me a part of your day, and until next time, safe travels.